Right, you're going to secure yourself again.
Great. Oh, thank you.
You're going to double line it.
The typical place to start would be by feeding your dog, feeding yourself, clothing yourself. Washing is kind of optional, as you can probably tell. It depends a lot on the seasons, I would say, because during the summer there's a lot more going on. You'll typically have loads more people here. There's a lot more visitors, and kind of having visitors here, it takes up your time because you're taking tours back and forth. You're kind of making sure that everyone's got enough wood, you're sorting vans, making places for people to sleep, that kind of thing. In the winter, the numbers reduce a lot, and you kind of end up with a solid core group of people that everyone is mostly just focusing on getting wood to keep ourselves warm. Right now, obviously, we're only just going into full-on winter, but we've already had nights where it's dropped to kind of -9 overnight. So like the wood is so important, and kind of has to be your priority during the winter months. And we're looking at doing things like on a Wednesday we have a vigil at the north gates of the base. This happens when there's a shift change going on in the base, so there's a lot of traffic coming in and out. The vigil was started by a guy from, I think, Helensburgh CND over 30 years ago. His name was Eric, and he passed away around about this time last year. So a couple of nights ago, a couple of our guys went and did a 12-hour vigil in his kind of memory up at Northgate, and we'll be having another one. But there's another kind of standard one every Wednesday, which just lasts an hour, and that's literally just we stand with members of Helensburgh CND, we have our banners, and as the traffic comes in and out, we wave, and we kind of stand there and just make our presence known. And it's in itself probably not the most effective thing. Sometimes there's only 2 or 3 of us, but I think it's the fact of having it been there every single damn Wednesday since like the 80s is kind of the important thing to keep doing it. And we'll have a special one on Christmas Day as well. It should be cool.
Networking is so crucial, like just the past few months, like getting involved with like CND and like going to their AGM meeting and stuff, and being able to go up and say a bit about Peace Camp, because obviously they know who Peace Camp, they know how long it's been here for, but like to let them know like this is who's doing it now, this is what our intentions are, like support us, and it was quite overwhelming. You know what I mean?
You feel a total sense of responsibility, because a lot of the people that are now doing things like Trident Ploughshares, Nuke Watch, there are people that lived here in the 80s. Like there's one woman, Jane Talent, so like she raised her kids here, you know what I mean, stayed here for a really long time.
And there were kids who were born here as well, right?
Yeah, kids have been born here, lived here as kids. We sometimes have people coming back to stay, and we go, oh, how'd you find out about the camp? And they go, oh, I lived here when I was 12, you know what I mean? A bit like now we're like in networking with them, and you just feel this like overwhelming sense of responsibility of like, you guys have started this amazing thing, what must you think of us? Like we really like want to make you proud and like want to continue your good work, and that just please.
You can come in, like even though it does seem like we're the underdogs and the smaller minority, man, but you know what I mean, you've got to start somewhere, and we have been here for 36 years, so I guess people always say, oh, do you know, Hank, like, you know what I mean?
Don't have any problems with them at all. They've helped us out once or twice, and we in return help them out. No, they're not an issue as far as I'm concerned. They've never caused us any harm or anything like that. I live here and I enjoy watching the practicing on the boats and things like that, but I can't really say whether I agree or don't agree. It just happens to be there, and I just have to accept it.
Right. Because we've got the stuff to make them.
That just came off a t-shirt.
Because this jacket here, I think, needs a wash, and I think this will be excellent for patches.
You could actually just screen print it and not put patches on it. We've got all the screen prints, haven't we?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking this jacket would suit something like that.
Yeah. we could definitely put the peace camp, like screen print on the back.
Cool. That'd be cool, man.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Because like essentially everybody here, man, and then we're all from different backgrounds and different walks of life, man, but we've found ourselves here and found ourselves doing this because, you know what I mean, it's so important. It's terrifying actually, you know what I mean. I wasn't at all educated on nuclear before I came here, and even like I'd always knew about it. Years ago I decided to come out, but I was not even sure why these people were out here. I just thought it was really cool that they lived out in the woods, like, let's go. And when I first came here, man, it was like, fair, man, but I could not live like this, man, like, it's freezing. You know what I mean? But, you know, and then I left, and then I came back again, and I still wasn't quite aware of, like, how, like, about Trident, you know what I mean, and what it actually was. Like, I don't know, growing up in Scotland, it's just not really what you talk about. It wasn't until, like, the Yes campaign that it kind of started to come out a bit, you know what I mean? And, I don't know, I kept coming back, and at first I was just coming out because it was cool to just come out and chill with these, like, such an accepting environment as well, you know what I mean, like, compared to, like, where I was coming from, like, you could, you know what I mean, like, it doesn't, like, as long you can be who you are, like, especially with, you know what I mean, like, things like, it doesn't, like, being a woman and being a man, your sexuality, or, I mean, it just isn't, like, it's just, you know what I mean, you can be who you are, like, and it was, you know what I mean, it was overwhelming, man, and it was wicked, but then, like, I kept coming back, and then I actually kind of started to listen to what everybody was talking about, and then
we caught you.
Aye, and boom, my bubble was burst, man. At one point, man, like, I did kind of, like, it was, because it just first, I don't know, it just, once, like, everything just started to, like, I don't know, it's like everything your full life, man, you just think, and then the world just is not what you thought it was, and I did get a bit crazy, but, like, I was
having dreams.
I had, like, pretty intense nightmares about, like, mushroom clouds and stuff, you know what I mean?
Anything.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, I was wondering,
Those ones don't carry the wire.
Not the nuclear powered.
Okay. The other ones are much
What they do is
Much
they
bigger,
open
and there's a
close the
lot
barrier.
more boats around it, man.
So you need a tugboat to come and unlock the
that
barrier,
would do,
open the barrier, even if it's letting police boats in and out.
Nuclear weapons, we talk about the level of destruction that they can, the unit that we use to describe the level of destruction that they can create is a Hiroshima. So we talk about, like, oh, that warhead's got 5 Hiroshimas, or that's got 8 Hiroshimas.
I was getting a kayak, I heard it.
I think it's too late, man.
I'm not there, did you? You've been climbing all morning.
First time I really see a serpent entering.
Yeah, why didn't you spot it? You had the best viewpoint.
I spotted it.
Yeah.
So on my first ever night here, I'd arrived during the day and there was some kind of party going on, everyone was really drunk, so I was just like, it's fine, I'll meet everyone tomorrow, I'm just going to go to bed, it's been a long day of travelling. I was sleeping here, and it was freezing, I hadn't started a fire, I was terrified, you know, first night in a strange new place, and then about midnight, you start getting this banging on the window, and I was like, God, what's going on? It's probably just some drunk peace camper, I've got no idea, like, I'll just leave it. And it continues solidly for like an hour, and then I start hearing a voice, a guy being like, I know someone's in there. So I'm like looking around the curtain, and there's this guy standing right outside, big baldy head, clearly drunk as a fart, and he sees me, I see him, and he starts going, "Get the fuck out here right now!" Like yelling all this abuse at me. So I was like, oh my god, terrified. So kind of like got my duvet, like made my way down to the front of the bus, and one of the peace campers that I'd met was standing just at the sort of doorway to the bus, kind of guarding it, and she said to me, "I want to go back on the bus right now, get your knife." And I was like, I didn't bring a knife, I didn't know I needed a knife, like why would I have brought a weapon? And she turned to me and she went, "I always say, when something like this happens, man, you've got to have your knife up one sleeve and your rape alarm up the other one." I was fucking terrified, but she managed to get the dogs, get someone else, and we got them all chased away off site. But I spoke to a lassie the next day and sort of said, you know what I mean, like, does this thing happen often? It was for my sister's birthday. She's got a friend who used to work as a nuclear physicist in the base, and he said that again, it was kind of the thing to do was to go to Helensburgh, get really, really drunk, and then they'd come, and I mean this would have been 10-15 years ago, but he said that they'd come to peace camp in the night when they were drunk and they'd steal loads of things. They'd steal banners and they'd steal like crockery and stuff, and they'd think it was all hilarious, and they'd go up to go home, and they'd get to the gates of the base and the MOD would be like, "You've nicked that from peace camp," and they'd make them bring it back and apologise. You certainly don't get that now.
The atomic bomb may go off and blow me high in the sky. I'm sure that wouldn't change the way I love you. I'm gonna love you till I die.
We've had a police boat come out, shining lights on us. So all we're doing is just like having some fun, and you can really see how intense the surveillance is.
It may go off and blow me high in the sky. I'm sure that wouldn't change the way I love you. I'm gonna love you till I die.
Treaty that was is being enacted at the moment, but was kind of first brought into place this summer. The ban treaty is really good because it covers like all aspects of nuclear. So not only are you not allowed to have nuclear weapons, you're also not allowed to do dealings with countries that do have nuclear weapons. You're not allowed to export your resources to be made into nuclear weapons. You're not allowed to let other countries transport materials for nuclear weapons through your country. Like, it's a complete and utter ban, and a lot of the things that are on it Scotland has no control over. So at the end of the day, Scotland wanted to sign but wasn't able to because we're still in the UK, and the UK is a NATO state and was like, absolutely not, we're signing it. Though. But we did show support for it, and they signed a kind of symbolic one outside the Scottish Parliament to kind of voice the fact that if we could, we would. But the fact of the matter is there are certain aspects of the ban that do fall under devolved legislation that we can put into effect, and one of the most important things is education. So part of the ban is you do have to then implement it into your education system, that you are going to educate your children about the dangers of nuclear weapons, about the history of nuclear weapons, why there's this ban, all this thing, educate people about Fukushima, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Chernobyl, the misfires, the kind of testing, all of this, and that is something that Scotland can do.
The atomic bomb may go off and blow me high in the sky. I'm sure that wouldn't change the way I love you. I'm gonna love you till I die.